Welcome to my YouTube channel. As we all know, the reign of Elizabeth I marked a golden age in English history, a time of cultural triumph, religious reform, and imperial expansion. But did you know there's a strange theory suggesting that Queen Elizabeth I was not actually a woman, but a man in disguise? In this video, we'll uncover the origins of the Bisley Boy legend, examine the claims behind it, and look at what historians have to say. Stay with us until the end as we explore one of the most bizarre and controversial mysteries of Tudor history. This outlandish theory, known as the Bisley Boy legend, emerged in the early 20th century and gained notoriety thanks to a surprising figure, Bram Stoker, the famed author of Dracula. In his 1910 book, Famous Impostors, Stoker claimed to have uncovered strange local records and oral traditions in the Gloucestershire village of Bisley. According to the tale, the young Princess Elizabeth was sent to Bisley as a child during an outbreak of plague. There, she supposedly died under mysterious circumstances. Fearing the wrath of her volatile father, King Henry VIII, her guardians allegedly replaced her with a red-haired boy of similar age, one who would grow up to assume her identity and eventually ascend the throne as the Virgin Queen. Stoker wrote of a coffin found in Bisley, allegedly containing the body of a young girl dressed in royal Tudor garments. He suggested this was the real Elizabeth, and the one who reigned for 45 years was an impostor, cleverly hidden behind ruffs, wigs, and the trappings of royalty. This theory has been kept alive by speculative writers and conspiracy theorists. Authors like Richard J. King have referenced the Bisley story in fringe literature, often highlighting Elizabeth's masculine appearance, her lifelong refusal to marry, and her strict aversion to medical examinations, even from court physicians. But how plausible is this tale when weighed against historical evidence? Modern historians almost universally dismiss the Bisley Boy theory as fantasy. Alison Weir, in her biography The Life of Elizabeth I, argues that Elizabeth's life was one of constant scrutiny, from her ladies-in-waiting to visiting ambassadors and foreign suitors. A deception of this magnitude, she notes, would have required the silence of hundreds, if not thousands, of people over several decades. Similarly, John Guy, in Elizabeth the Forgotten Years, explores Elizabeth's reign in forensic detail. He emphasizes how politically engaged and intellectually sharp the Queen was. Her detailed knowledge of languages, diplomacy, and classical literature would have been nearly impossible to fake. David Starkey, in Elizabeth's Apprenticeship, covers her early life, including her time in the household of Catherine Parr. Starkey documents Elizabeth's education, her correspondence, and her physical presence at court, all activities which were extensively recorded and incompatible with the notion of a hidden identity. And then there are the portraits, hundreds of them commissioned during her lifetime. These weren't simply idealized images, they had to pass royal approval. Susan Doran, in Elizabeth I and Her Circle, 2015, explains how Elizabeth carefully curated her image, but never to the point of disguising her sex. She may have played the role of the Virgin Queen, but it was a public performance for political power, not evidence of deception. As for the sealed coffin theory, Elizabeth was buried in Westminster Abbey with great ceremony. Her body, along with her sister Mary the Ferns, remains entombed in one of the most public and accessible royal tombs in England. No legitimate historian has ever found evidence of a switch or secret substitution. So, was Elizabeth I actually a red-haired boy from Bisley? The historical record resoundingly says no. The Bisley Boy legend, like many royal conspiracy theories, reveals more about the fears and fascinations of later generations than it does about the truth of Tudor history. But it's a tale that persists, part ghost story, part political satire, and part reflection of how powerful women are so often undermined by myth. In the end, the real Elizabeth was more extraordinary than any impostor could ever have been. If you enjoyed this video into one of history's strangest rumors, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more explorations into the truths and tales of the past.